안녕하십니까. 좋은 아침, 여러분. 오늘은 뉴스에는 김정은 아마 죽였어. 그렇지만 we really don't know if the jonger has bit it or not. So good morning. It's uh it's a lovely Monday morning, and we're gonna talk about the news. I should point out first and foremost that the first uh tentative confirmation. There were news articles over the weekend that seem to absolutely confirm that Kim Jong Un is dead. Those articles came from TMZ, and of course, aren't they the guys that broke the RussiaGate scandal or I'm sorry, the Pissgate scandal? Isn't that TMZ? Am I wrong on that, Cameron?
I thought that came from BuzzFeed, and then TMZ ran with it, and then that gave the cover for
Oh, and that was their,
CNN. And
and that gave them their cytogenesis.
right, even though they'd all been exposed to the story months beforehand, it realized they had no way to source it. That circular logic is a bitch. However, TMZ's funny. Sometimes TMZ is the first to break these sorts of things. I think they deliberately take the risk so that they can stay ahead of the curve
Yeah.
because they're popcorn news. They're trying to be flashy and they border on tabloid stuff.
Now,
And it's not.
wasn't it TMZ with who was it? Reza Aslan that ate the human brain?
I don't know.
Um,
There's so
let me
much.
double check that. Who was the?
Yeah, and just since it got brought up, pro tip: if you're going to engage in cannibalism, the brain is not the thing to eat. There's this thing called
Right.
prion disease, and it's a bitch. Don't ask me how I know. That's that's
I'm gonna have to look that. I'm gonna have to look that up real quick because I don't. I don't know if it was Reza Aslan. It was Reza Aslan, the scholar and TV presenter. Ate human brains live on camera for one of these news outlets. And that shit was on CNN. CNN!
well,
So,
part of the problem here is it's not that hard to believe that something bad happened to Kim Jong Un because dictators either live forever or they have real short reigns. And apparently, the guy smokes like 2 to 3 packs a day. He just guzzles scotch, and um, it's strongly hinted that he's not afraid to partake in marijuana and opium. And I mean, have you seen him? You know how hard it is to be fat in Korea? Like,
especially in North Korea. Okay, look. Okay, North Korea. The Chosun Minjujuи Inmin Konghwaguk is, well, I mean, it's right there in the name. Chosun Minjujui Inmin Konghwaguk, the the nation of cooperative citizens. Oh, oh, oh. They're communists, which means they're starving. So let's assume for just a moment that Kim Jong Un is dead because of a botched medical procedure. There are a few things that we can take away from this. Yeah, botched. Um, getting a plant in as the as the surgeon is absolutely the sort of thing that the CIA, MI6, or Beijing would, or the Kremlin. It's absolutely the sort of political intrigue, assassination type maneuvers that that any of those organizations would not just attempt but execute. Um, God, the stories about what we did to try to get rid of uh, Castro are bordering on, I mean, not bordering, are bizarre. There are things that we really tried that are, I mean, it's like you're sitting around the table with your 6-year-old kid, and they're like, "Hey, couldn't we fix the world if we could like teach dolphins to use lasers to kill bad guys?" You know, maybe the kid's onto something. So, wait, what?
Hey, real quick aside, I see a bottle of Clorox spray in your mise en scène. You realize that doesn't cure the Rona, right?
I didn't realize it was in my mise en scène. Oh, aha! You can see it in the uncropped version of the feed. But yes, yes, I realize that it doesn't cure the Rona, but it does a hell of a number on my sinuses.
Uh, okay, but all jokes aside, the theory that I've been operating on here is that that this was some form of an assassination attempt. I don't know that it would be our guys that did it unless they're trying to deliberately countermand the president, which, to be fair, is a realistic possibility, something that has to be considered. But it'd actually be awful if Kim Jong Un died
What the hell is
because
this?
I don't know. I can't see what you're looking at.
It's damn autoplay or video on one of the articles I pulled up.
Whoops. But that's basically going to reset the the diplomatic relations that Donald Trump has tried to build with North Korea because you don't really build diplomatic relations with North Korea. You build diplomatic relationships with whoever's in charge of North Korea currently. And there's no guarantee that the scary little sister will be even half as amenable as Kim Jong Un was. Because man, she's frightening looking. I was doing some reading on her, and apparently she's always at Kim's side, and she's one of the architects of the modernization of their propaganda and censorship techniques. And she has been an active player in the commie propaganda ever since her brother took over.
Yeah.
And yikes, man, yikes. And apparently, the most notable thing about her is that while she's in public, she has this super sunny smile and is just so warm and friendly and shakes hands and does all that stuff. And then the second nobody's looking, she goes back to resting bitch face like that. And apparently, that's the real her.
Yeah, there's oh, wow. I was trying to find this image earlier and there it is. There you go.
Coffee.
That's that's the one that's getting turned into memes all over the place. Um oh. What's up, Tim? Rod, I also know that you're there. I'm sorry I haven't said good morning to you yet. No, you shouldn't move back to Atlanta. Yes, we still love you. And obviously heroin was somehow part of this whole negotiation. But there's the one. The cute girl running with the toast in her mouth. Um I'm not sure which is scarier. Cuz there are some pictures of her that make her look damn cute. But oh. Oh.
Yeah,
That's
that's
less
some
cute.
Yeah, that's the face of somebody that would order you shot.
Yeah, propaganda smile. Murder.
But yeah, this is
And no, Tim, not like Pelosi. Pelosi is a dog-faced pony soldier.
it's just communion wine. I just had a little, just a wee drop. No, but oh yeah, and then whose propaganda is that?
That's Chinese. Oh, wait,
Ah.
no, that's Japanese.
But the long and the short of it is, hey, we're just tired of talking about the Rona because I think we're all tired of talking about the Rona. Um, but
Yeah.
but B,
The My
it's like,
Sharona Cyrus.
but B, this is really not what the world needs right now. Because, well, Chris, what do you think happens if Kim Jong Un suddenly kicks the bucket without naming his successor?
Whether he kicks the bucket with or without naming his successor. If that successor is a woman, um, all you feminists out there that are going on and on about how terrible the patriarchy is in America. My God, you have no idea. You're just clueless. If Kim Jong Un kicks the bucket and leaves a woman in charge of North Korea, that will be his generals have been chomping at the bit for an opportunity to displace the Kim family and take over the country. The result of Kim Jong Un actually being dead and leaving a woman in charge will be a 6 or 8 front war as the People's Army of North Korea breaks down on party lines between its primary standing generals. There will be a few backroom drug deals between those guys to consolidate power, um, and you will witness what appears to begin as a military coup and rapidly turns into a massive civil war, which will be short lived because, well, they're hungry. They're very, very hungry.
Now, one thing that I worry about, are they going to be prudent enough, or are they desperate and or dumb enough to nuke each other if that happens? Because
No,
that's when things start getting
I,
ugly.
I don't think that's a
Are you sure?
Kim's generals may be as evil, but not, I think, as crazy.
Mm.
Um, Real quick, we've got a question in the comments. It's my understanding from Tim. It's my understanding this lineage is portrayed as God's. How do they explain his death to the masses? Hmm. Okay, so Tim, the way that works actually, the as it has gone since Kim Il Sung, um, Kim Il Sung was the first of that whole line, and the kind of mythic story of Kim Il Sung involves a tiger eating an onion in a cave and giving birth to a magic like rice bun that turned into Kim Il Sung. It's it's a bizarre mythology, but he descended down from the mountain and was a gift from the universe to Korea and to the world. Um, and his vision of uh not Chung 그런 것은 잘 잊어버렸어. Not the Minju. Anyway, Cho Song. Is that anyway? they have this thing that they have this ideal of self-reliance, but it's a national self-reliance. So we're communists, but we're self-reliant because we're self-reliant on ourselves as a collective rather than the individual self. Um, and so the immortality of the Kims is linked to this idea of kind of a collective national soul. Right now, Kim Il sung is the president of North Korea, officially in North Korea. Kim Jong Un, who is also dead, is the commander in chief of the People's Army of North Korea forever, officially. Kim Jong Un is the leader of democratic the People's Democratic Workers Party of North Korea forever. So the president is dead, the commander in chief is dead, and if we're to believe that Kim Jong Un is dead, which, by the way, there are a lot of conflicting reports now that say he's very much alive and well, that have come out in the last like 15 to 20 hours. But
Oh yeah,
Kim
they said
Jong,
the same thing about Castro before he kicked the bucket.
right? Yeah, yeah. So take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, Kim Jong Un, even though he's been dead for what 10 years now, is still the commander in chief of the army, according to the official kind of party line of North Korea. So Kim Il Sung is the great leader, and that's his Korean title. Kim Il Sung is the great leader, the president of North Korea forever. Kim Jong Un is the dear leader, who is the commander in chief of their armed forces forever, and Kim Jong Un is called the brilliant comrade and is the leader of the Workers' Party forever. And just so we're clear, they have the Workers' Party and then they have the opposition party. So in oh yeah, 북한에서는 아주 huge election 있습니다. They they have elections, but it is a crime punishable by death to vote for the opposition. Of course, somebody has to actually be in the opposition to generate the propaganda that there is, in fact, a vote, and everybody keeps re-electing the Workers' Party. But that's that's a very rudimentary breakdown of how North Korea works. Um, so
Yeah, we're talking about the country so batshit crazy uh, that twice a day a song written by Kim Jong Un on the theremin is broadcast throughout the city. And if you don't know what a theremin is, go look that up.
it's it's literally you hold your hands out in space and play it like you're conducting an orchestra. it's well, okay. So the theremin is the instrument that the Star Wars, I'm sorry, the original Star
Star
Trek,
Trek.
yeah, the original Star Trek theme was written on. That we that's a theremin. And yeah, Kim Jong Un was he was a weird dude. He was obsessed with movies and cinema, so much so that he actually kidnapped actors from other countries and held them hostage for years at a time and forced them to produce films with him. One of which is a ripoff of Godzilla. I can't remember the name of it, but in it there's a creature like Godzilla, but he's tiny to begin with, and he eats metal. And he's very helpful and good at making things. So they keep feeding him metal, so he'll keep doing helpful things to be helpful and fun. And he's this cute little monster. But the more they feed the metal to him, and the more he's helpful, the bigger he gets, and the more metal he needs until he's finally basically Godzilla and is a real problem and starts devouring the whole country. And it's supposed to be a metaphor for doing business with the Americans.
Uh-huh.
These are the people we're talking about. They're,
So,
slightly less evil than the Chinese communists.
I really think that's more about scale and ability than anything else. So we're coming up on 20 minutes. So let's wrap it up on this
Yeah, so
question.
basically, we don't know if he's dead, but we have a pretty good idea of what it will mean if he is. And
Well,
frankly, that means that the next couple of weeks will be very interesting.
well, prediction time. Do you think he's dead? Do you think he's in a coma? Or do you think he's alive and somehow, for some reason, this story has been allowed to spread?
I suspect that whether or not he's actually dead, he's not doing very well. Um, because if it were the case that he was just alive and well, that would be that would have immediately been publicized very broadly by North Korean media. Um, that they haven't even attempted to cover on it is very suspicious to me, especially the the anniversary of the original founding of the People's Army of North Korea by Kim Il Sung is like a month out, and that's a major political and military event for the country. They have these huge parades. It's that's when they put all the tanks and rockets out and run them down the street to show off the power of the army to the people. And of course, that always comes with huge ceremonies and speeches by the brilliant comrade. And there's been nothing out of him on that, so that's especially suspicious and concerning. Uh, 그런 것은 아주 peligroso. If I mean, if North Korea, if Kim, or not North Korea, if Kim Jong Un himself isn't making television appearances to dispel the exaggerated rumors of his demise, then the conclusion I would draw from that is that his demise is probably not exaggerated. The only alternative to that is that the exaggerated rumors of his demise are a very deliberate propaganda maneuver.
Okay, we're left at a brilliant comment. Commenter just said maybe the fax machine is broken. Oh.
Oh, thank you, Tim.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. If I had to guess, he's in some type of coma, maybe in some partially brain dead, fully brain dead vegetative state. He's intubated under heavy guard, and that's part of why Chinese doctors were sent in so that they could actually control, even internally, how many people know the actual depth of his condition.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we need to wrap it up there, and we will be back tomorrow morning. And I don't even know what we're gonna taco about tomorrow. We'll figure it out though, and we'll see you then. Y'all be safe out there. Wash your hands, and make sure you like the video here on YouTube. Share it on wherever you can. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, uh, Instagram. Is that a thing? And we need more subscribers. We really do. Tim, I appreciate the hell out of you being here. Just ladies, Tim is part of my very broadly extended family, by which I mean we get together at least once a year to stand around a table full of scotch and skirts and drink scotch and talk about scotch. And
Skirts?
we're Scottish.
Okay. No,
We're Scots.
You talk about scotch and talk about skirts. It was
Oh
a
yeah.
pun. It obviously didn't land, but that's all I got.
No, it didn't land. It was a nice try though, and maybe next time. So be safe out there, guys. It's time to go to work.
Huge erection.
A huge erection in North Korea. 재미있게는 개방 접근 아주 나쁜 의대다.